So when do we become on a Bitcoin standard? I think it's actually a long time away. And the reason is as much as I believe in Bitcoin being better money, I actually don't think anytime soon the nation states are going to abdicate their right to control their particular money. I think they're going to fight it really hard for a long time. And the smartest people are going to get that, and they're going to increase their exposure. I mean, look, you and I have been talking about this for a long time. Get off zero, right? Zero has always been the wrong number. How big that number is in your portfolio, that's a debate.
The prospect of Bitcoin becoming the worldwide monetary standard is a complex and highly debated topic, consisting of a blend of technological, economic, and regulatory considerations. The rise of Bitcoin has sparked a significant shift in how we perceive and engage with the financial world. Bitcoin's journey, from its inception to its current state, showcases a resilient push against traditional financial systems, marked by booms, busts, and skepticism. As of mid-2023, an estimated 17% of US adults had engaged with cryptocurrency, reflecting its growing footprint in the world of finance. In a recent interview, Mark Yusko, CEO of Morgan Creek Capital Management, delves into the conversation about Bitcoin, its current growth trajectory, and the shifting story that accompanies it. Despite Bitcoin's impressive expansion, Yusko points out that we're still a ways off from it becoming the universal currency benchmark. He's convinced that Bitcoin is on track to dethrone gold as the premier financial standard, yet he's equally mindful of the significant hurdles and opposition it could encounter along the way. Yusko is pretty convinced Bitcoin's set to take over from gold as the main financial asset. Still, he's upfront about the tough battles and hurdles it'll have to jump through first. We will now bring you clips from the discussion. As we do, please take a moment to give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more similar videos. Make sure to stick around to the end of the video, where Yusko unveils his predictions for how Bitcoin will outperform all other worldwide currencies. We hope you enjoy it.
The narrative around Bitcoin tends to shift, right? You go all the way back to the founding. It was a peer-to-peer electronic cash. But it went from that narrative to, oh, it's digital gold. Okay, fine. And gold is an inflation hedge. And so these people say, well, if it's digital gold and it's better, I'm going to buy it because it's easy and I don't have to store it and I have to carry around these big gold bars with me. I agree that it's digital, it's scarce like gold. And I believe it's the monetary base for the future, right? Gold's been the monetary base for 5,000 years. And what I mean by that is all the central banks own gold, right? It sits at the base level, and then they create currency on top of that, right? Money is an asset that exists in the absence of a liability. That's been gold. I mean, sometimes it was silver and sometimes it was a few other things, but bottom line, there aren't that many things that exist in the absence of a liability. Currency, dollars, yen, euros, all are backed by debt. They have a liability, associated liability. So they're not money the way we think of money. So I think of the digital gold argument as the monetary piece. Like there's 12 trillion-ish of gold. Half of that is jewelry, artifacts, chalices, gold leaf on the Golden Dome where I went to school, all that good stuff. That doesn't count. That's the commodity part. And gold was the one thing that for years was both commodity, which is kind of an inflation hedge, and currency, right? It was money. And so that Bitcoin narrative was there. But now I like the narrative that Saylor put out there the other day, that it's really digital property, right? It's property rights. And that means it's much, much bigger. And I keep talking about the fact that in the QE era, right, when money supply was expanding, the price of Bitcoin, quote unquote, went up because we measured it in the thing that was devaluing. And this is the part, right? My sign over there, right? One Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. But the average person doesn't talk in Bitcoin terms. Mm-hmm. they talk in dollar terms or yen terms or bolivar terms. But if you lived in Venezuela, there really has never been much of a bear market in Bitcoin because the bolivar was going down so fast, or Turkey with the lira. So it's not that Bitcoin necessarily gets better, it just is. It's that the currency keeps getting worse. But here's the thing, the last year, M2 went down in the United States. Only twice in 100 years has that happened. And it happened in the last year. Well, wait a second, then Bitcoin prices should have gone down. If we're restricting the dollar, right? We're not creating as many dollars, then Bitcoin price should have gone up. But Bitcoin prices went up 200%. Well, what happened? Supply and demand. And this is where the differences come in, that you can have a change in value of an asset because the currency you value it in is changing. I always talk about my house, right? According to Zillow, my house went up 50% here in Chapel Hill over the last 2 years. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. My house did not grow. My house didn't get more efficient. I actually had to put money into it to stop it from going, wearing out. The money got worse.
Recent developments in the cryptocurrency world continue to paint an intricate picture of Bitcoin's journey toward potentially becoming a global monetary standard. A notable forecast from Blockware Intelligence suggests that global Bitcoin adoption could surpass 10% by 2030, underscoring the rapid adoption rates of network-based technologies like Bitcoin. This projection is based on the cumulative sum of net entities growth and a predicted compound annual growth rate of 60%. The report highlights that, unlike past technologies that offered convenience or efficiency, Bitcoin provides direct financial incentives for adoption, accelerating its growth through the internet's network effect. Let us now go back to the interview as Mark Yusko discusses Bitcoin's impact and the possibility of it becoming the financial standard despite all odds.
So when do we become on a Bitcoin standard? I think it's actually a long time away. And the reason is, as much as I believe in Bitcoin being better money, I actually don't think anytime soon the nation states are going to abdicate their right to control their particular money, right? And look, I don't know if you've ever had Murray Stahl on the podcast. You should have him on. And he makes us look bearish. Like, how is that even possible, right? But he makes us look bearish because I talk about this all the time. To me, Bitcoin displacing gold as the base layer of money, easy. $6 trillion market cap. That's like you can bank on that. That's totally easy. The next step, which is where the good money crowds out all the other money, and we start talking about, to your point, not Bitcoin in dollars or Bitcoin in yen or Bitcoin in euros, but euros in Bitcoin or dollars in Bitcoin, because it is the standard. There's a book called the Bitcoin Standard, right? But that's inverse to Gresham's law. Gresham's law says the opposite, that bad money always crowds out good, right? Gold is good money, but other paper money always crowds that out. People want to use the bad money because I don't even understand the exact reason for Gresham's law, but it's a law, right? And if you look at history, that's what happens: is people flock to the worst currency at the worst possible time, and that's why you get the hyperinflations eventually. Zimbabwe and Argentina and Turkey. So what Murray says is we're going to get a reverse Gresham's law, and this good money, this Bitcoin, is going to eat all global currency, which today is about 86, 87 trillion. Oh, just round it to 90 or round it to 100. Doesn't even really matter. Trillion here, trillion there. Pretty soon you're talking real money. That one's harder for me because I think we've seen how hard people are fighting just on the little stuff as Bitcoin starts to siphon money out of the banks. right? We all experienced that with, we saw the lenders pop up and people took their fiat, converted it to stable coins or Bitcoin, and got paid interest in a zero interest rate world, which was unnatural. And the banks were like, 10 billion, who cares? 100 billion? Now we got a freaking problem. Now we're going to make it, illegal or unethical and we're going to put people in jail. And there's still people in jail for writing code. It just boggles my mind. So I think it's a long-winded way of saying, I think they're going to fight it really hard for a long time. And the smartest people are going to get that, and they're going to increase their exposure. I mean, look, you and I have been talking about this for a long time. Get off zero, right? Zero has always been the wrong number. How big that number is in your portfolio, that's a debate.
In the discussions presented by Yusko, it is clear that Bitcoin is on its way to becoming the global standard for value measurement. This evolution from a peer-to-peer electronic cash system to a status akin to digital gold, and subsequently to digital property, signifies a profound shift in both the narrative and utility of Bitcoin. Nevertheless, the journey towards establishing Bitcoin as the global currency standard is full of challenges. Opposition from sovereign states, entrenched financial entities, and multiple regulatory and legal uncertainties pose considerable barriers to Bitcoin's universal adoption. Despite these factors, there is a noticeable shift among investors toward recognizing the potential of Bitcoin as a revolutionary force within the financial sector. Investors' diversification of investment portfolios to include Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies indicates an increasing acknowledgement of digital assets as valid investment options. Meanwhile, Bitcoin's price correction of approximately 13.5% from its recent highs has raised concerns among investors about the possibility of another crash. Historical trends suggest similarities with previous bull market corrections, where price drops ranging from 20% to 40% have occurred before subsequent upward movements. Analysts anticipate a potential upward trajectory towards $84,000 by April or May, followed by a likely pullback to around $40,000, echoing patterns seen in past market cycles. Market indicators, such as the Relative Strength Index and Net Unrealized Profit Loss data, further indicate the potential for a price correction, with overbought conditions and increasing profit-taking sentiment among investors. Despite differing viewpoints from Bitcoin analysts, ranging from cautious warnings about historical retracements to relatively bullish predictions of stabilization around $57,500, investors are advised to conduct thorough research and exercise caution in their trading decisions. Do you agree with Mark Yusko's prediction that Bitcoin will outperform all other worldwide currencies? And what factors do you believe will contribute to its success or failure in achieving this? Feel free to drop your thoughts and analyses in the comments below. If you found today's video enlightening and want to stay ahead with more insights and updates from the cryptocurrency world, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on post notifications. Your support is crucial for us to continue providing in-depth content and discussions on the latest in crypto. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we'll uncover more about the fascinating developments in the cryptocurrency space. Until then, keep questioning, keep exploring, and most importantly, keep investing wisely. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.